Hello, 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 my Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Twin Flame read for January 2020. Though timeless, whenever you're watching it is cool by me. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and really kind of happy to be serving, even though these are the Twin Flame reads. You'll see what I mean if you are new to my channel. And if you are new to my channel, please do like and subscribe. I'm making my way to 1,000 subscribers so that I can monetize and do super live chat and see what the next the next goal to reach is in all of this. Since I've been reading cards since I'm 12 years old, I'll be 52 this year in September. Virgo that I am. We're both ruled by Gemini, right? You can feel me. So I made a promise to my subscribers that for the first couple of months, once I hit 1,000 and can do super live chat, that I would do a little ditty called Drunk Tarot. And there is a video that I did last year explaining what Drunk Tarot is in the description box below. Please do check it out. It is my absolute favorite video that I did last year. Cracks me up. I think it will do the same, and then you'll want to see me do Drunk Tarot, I am sure. That being said, let's get down to business for this reading that we are doing. Please keep in mind this is a general read, which is why I do Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for all of the Twin Flame and Soulmate, A Path of True Love. Really, any relationship-based reading I ever do, I'm going to involve the Venus signs, right? I have Libra and Venus and Libra. Please get that confused. So please do check your other signs. You just can't win them every time in a reading, right? You can please some of the people all the time, all of the people some of the time, but you just can't read all of the people all the time. It's not possible, considering the quantum fields that we mine as readers doing these readings on YouTube. Very different than if you're sitting across the table or doing a video chat with somebody, which is what I do all the time with people as a professional reader. So reach out if you want something a bit more specific, because that's what I do best. This is just a fun way of venting my skill on the world. You get me, don't you, my Gemini? So please do check your other signs and, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. That said, this is a Twin Flame reading. And the definition of Twin Flame, as I have come to understand it in all of these years, having had so many Twin Flame contracts in my life, is it is just that, a contract, a pre-incarnational agreement between two souls that you are going to teach each other how to love yourselves. You are going to teach each other how to heal yourselves. You are going to teach each other how to set boundaries, but not in the way that you think. Usually by it being a tumultuous, transformative, tricky, triggery, sometimes even very toxic relationship. Your twin flames are necessary for your soul growth. It's just how it is, and nor do you have only just one. That really, go watch the videos in the description box below. I did one called Clarifying Twin Flames, Soulmates, and True Lovers to explain this. And I don't know if it's the new definition or the way it's always been, and we got it a little concocted along the way. But even my video and my work in this realm has been greatly inspired and informed by the work of spiritual teacher Matt KAHN. His video, Soul Contracts Redefined, Soul Contracts, Twin Flames and Soulmates Redefined. That's in my description box as well. Please watch them. It makes so much sense, and it will simplify so much of this soulmate, twin flame, soulmate contract stuff in general. Cool. Because these are the tricky ones. These are the hard ones. As I've said in almost every video, my father was a twin flame contract for me. He wanted a heterosexual Republican Catholic. I am a gay liberal witch. I know I might have screwed up the order on that one, but you know what I'm saying. There was no way I was going to be the son he wanted to, and I wanted a father who got who I was. We never got to do that in this life. He died before I was legally an adult. He died the summer between high school and college, so it was because of that that I taught myself how to love myself, how to heal myself, how to embrace and set boundaries and all that stuff ever since, right? So twin flame contract's different than soulmates. My mom is my soulmate. We help each other heal, and you have just as many soulmates probably as you have twin flames. This is a contract reading. We are looking at the most dominant twin flame, or you should say the most important twin flame contract that the Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign needs to know about, because you've probably got a bunch going on at once. We all do, right? So this may be romantic, it may not, but it's all about you learning how to heal yourself in this relationship, love yourself, set boundaries, etc. And that's what my guides and pantheons put together a spread for, and it's kind of neat. I really like this spread, but it seems to evolve every time. So that being said, a couple more pieces and then we'll dive in. We're going to be doing feminine, divine masculine, just as a way of defining two different parties in a contract. Has nothing to do with bodily gender. Your job is to kind of resonate. Which one do you feel like you are? More the divine feminine or the divine masculine? Myself, consider myself a divine feminine. I'm gay. I'm an intuitive for a living. You know, more yin, right? More internal yin, divine feminine, than the external divine masculine, although I've got plenty of divine masculine energy in me as well. I'm pretty much a 50-50, but I'll consider myself 51% divine feminine. You with me? We're all fluid in that stuff. It depends on the situation, what rises up within us. You get me. Cool, cool. Last thing, please breathe. See how fast I get when the energy flows, and it might be a little bit hard for someone to take in all at once, which is good. On YouTube, you can rewind, right? But this thing of just being in the present moment, focusing on the breath. I try and do it before each, pull of a card, so that I tune in to the still point of the present moment where the divine is present. That's where I'm getting my information from, and where if you're doing the same, you're tuning to the same still point, even though we're in a different time and space. It's the same energy, right? You with me? Cool, cool. That's it. Let's get to work, gems. Nice deep breath. Let's have a look at your twin flame contracts for February 2020. It's like erase, erase, erase. Though timeless, still point. Wow, the Gemini collective is always very active mentally. I get it, but it's like finding the eye of a hurricane. Still point. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. 2 cards from the Caroline Myss archetype deck. 1 for the divine feminine and 1 for the divine masculine in this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Soul, twin flame contract. Let's not be playing that game. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Gemini collective, twin flame contract for February 2020, though timeless, please. 1 card for the divine feminine, 1 card for the divine masculine in this Gemini collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for February 2020. Please keep in mind all the decks that I read are in the description box below. I always like to throw that in there because I always do. Who's our maybe not so happy couple? Okay, oh, well, this is a really, really interesting couple. Both divine family. The angel for the divine feminine, the Messiah for the divine masculine. Just saying, a little heavy duty extra overload on the divine family archetype. There are different families of archetypes, the divine family being one of them. Wow, let's have a look-see. Now, as I've said for so many cards, particularly ones that sound really negative, to say that the divine positive of it, that all archetypes are neutral, as dark as the dark seems, is as bright as the bright is. So it goes with the ones that seem really bright, the ones that seem really bright and positive. The shadow sides are just as dark, toxic, right? So keep in mind, I mean, I know, I'm like hesitant because it's a little intense. You might not like it, but here we go. We got the Divine Feminine Angel and the Divine Masculine Messiah. Holy crap, holies, my gems. What have y'all been up to? Now, you're going to have to figure out which one you resonate with in here, but I think by the time I define them both and I use the next deck that we will clarify with, you'll have a pretty good idea, which is why I like this spread. So let me read what's written on the card and get you what I'm feeling from it as I roll up my sleeve to read the Divine Feminine Angel here. The shadow attribute, acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance, which you gotta say is a little rare. How many people claim that they're hearing angelic guidance on the regular anyway? But definitely I think that first part of the shadow, acting angelic, right? The opposite of an angel is a demon. What's a demon but an angel that fell, right? An angel that has forgotten itself. So if this is the shadow, this is the toxicity, then this is what the Divine Feminine has the ability, the opportunity in this contract to heal within herself, to love, to embrace, to alchemize the lead into gold. What she's shooting for, the light attribute, helping those in need with no expectation of return. Right? It is that. Now that can lead to selflessness in a wonderful way and martyrdom in a not so wonderful way. So that's why perhaps this is what she really wants to be doing, but because she's not taking care of herself, expecting nothing in return, getting nothing in return, burns out, can make anybody resentful and demonic. Just saying. How do I know that? I'm a Virgo. We're the servants of the zodiac. We get used to serving without people doing shit back for us in return. So we learn to take care of ourselves, or we become fucking bitter martyrs from hell. Just saying. So feeling that, right? That angel archetype for the Divine Feminine, particularly if it is any feminine energy that nurtures and gives. But keep in mind the word angel means messenger of light. That what is the message of your giving? What is the message of the Divine Feminine that she's giving, not just through her words, but through her conduct, her life, her vibration, if you will. But here we've got the Messiah archetype. A little intense. I mean, really, if you just even Google Messiah complex, it's a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. So we're going to start with that in the shadow here. Ready? Exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. Have you ever? Several times I've dealt with that in people. Now, I do not really have the Messiah complex. I've always tried to work with others. I don't like working for others. I like working with others. And I'm not in this reading. I don't have any planets in Gemini whatsoever. But that doesn't mean that people don't project Messiah vibe on me all the time. I am a teacher. I am not a savior. Big archetypal difference. So the Messiah here, you know, how easy is it? Now, I'm going to say for a Divine Masculine to think they are the only way things can succeed. See, that's why I totally would always identify more with the Divine Feminine. I just do. Right? It's like, I know that I don't know. I'm just doing my best. For the Messiah archetype in its shadow, we've all come across them. And funny, it's a divine family archetype, but it can manifest itself in the corporate world, right? You know, oh, the only way this is going to... I made this company what it is, and I can break it just as easily. Sorry, I had a little Joan Crawford moment there slide in. So what's the light attribute? Serving humanity with humility. So what do we have in common here? We've got helping those and serving others, right? So this need not be a romantic sexual context. Could be. Maybe they're into each other. Maybe there is that twin flamey sexual attraction, romantic past life, unfinished business shit going on. But right now we're looking at an angel and a Messiah, and I'm sorry, that's a little hand in glove for me personally. So we're going to continue. Because the first one that I did, the Aries one, I think, was the slave and the liberator. I'm like, that's a little on the nose. This is a little on the nose. Let's have a look-see-dook-see, shall we? We are going to take the Chuck Spezzano pack. Divided in half, the suit of problems in this hand, the suits of luck, healing, and grace in this hand, to look at what is the lead, what is being healed in this twin flame contract for both of them, and what is the healing agent, the agent of luck or the agent of grace here to help them out. Asking the Ascended Masters, I think we're going to need to. Nice, deep breath. Still point. Melky didn't find the still point. That's my youngest. Come here, sweetheart. Come on. Come sit with Mama. Come on, bugger. It's almost dinner time for them. That's why I'm going to get this reading done first. Come on. There's my boy. My baby boy. So much. Lay down, lay down. You've got on you. Motherhood just never ends. All right. Chill out. Ground. No. No. Bored. You're boring, Mom, is just what I got from my Taurus cat. My Melchior. Nice deep breath. Let's get for you here. The still point, by the way, I find it in the space between the inhale and the exhale, where you, and then the space between the exhale and the inhale, right? The still point. My masters, please, one card in clarity for this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract, February 2020 timeless. We've got an angel and a messiah here. What's the problem? Really, what's the problem going on here? Nice and clear, loud and clear. Yes, divine family archetypes, an angel and a messiah, please. What is the problem according to the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, my ascended masters? And what is the piece of luck, the piece of healing, or the piece of grace to help the divine feminine or the divine masculine or both of them heal themselves, love themselves? They were like, listen, I did. Let's see. Aha, this came up for the Aries as well. Interesting. Defensiveness. Defensiveness. Now that can be psychological defensiveness. Certainly we have here somebody in a tower surrounded by water, right? An island tower, a turret with cannons and a rifle, right? It's like your dukes are up. So they're interesting that there is this defensiveness of sort of like walking around with your dukes up, perhaps on both sides, or maybe this relationship in and of itself has had to do that, right? Whatever it is that they're doing here, they might be under attack. And I see perhaps why that might be, because they've got here the card, the suit of luck, adventure, right? Now the thing about an adventure is there are no guarantees. If it's guarantees, it's not an adventure, it's running errands, and even running errands can be an adventure nowadays. Hunting and gathering, as it were. You know, you never know what the divine plan has in store for you. So with the angel and the messenger, really in their better angels, let's say, their higher selves, the golden here, of really wanting to serve and help, and to do so with humility, which is ultimately to know that you don't know, but you're always just going to be authentic in the present moment and serve whoever you are if you're the divine masculine here. And with the angel, just that sense of generosity of here, help, no, I don't need anything, and then just sort of disappearing. I could see why that would take certain defensiveness, but in terms of healthy boundaries, that sort of thing is not easy to maintain, again, without burning out, becoming resentful. But to see it as an adventure, that this is a phase that you're in, right? Adventures usually don't last forever. I mean, a lifelong adventure, then your life is an adventure. Yikes. I know that's true for the soul's adventure, but as far as a relationship goes, that this is something that might have a beginning, a middle, and an end. But keep an eye on that defensiveness, because I can feel it on either side. Again, I'm scanning hundreds of thousands of people. May hundreds of thousands of people watch this video, but kind of feeling that defensiveness even towards each other, that maybe there's a deep knowing inside that, yes, there are risks involved, that there are no guarantees, and that this has a time limit to it. So, you know, you can be a little, look, all relationships end eventually, right? Divorce, distance, or death. It's just how it goes. Because all that rises falls in this world. But the contracts are about the evolution of the soul, not about getting what you want, particularly twin flamies, right? So what we're going to do to help heal this defensiveness, yes, to get that it's an adventure, there are no guarantees in life, but what are the healing angels? And we're doing this with the Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue, one for each. Like, what are the angels that they have with them that they can help themselves with? Because remember, twin flame contracts, they can't help each other heal. They only teach the other how to heal themselves, often by not giving them what they want. We're giving them what they don't want, right? Nice deep breath. Still point. My angels, there you are. Please, 2 cards, one for the Divine Feminine and one for the Divine Masculine. In this Gemini Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for February 2020 are timeless, please. One for the Divine Feminine. What is the angel that walks with her? What is the angel that walks with the Divine Masculine, please? Now, considering we've got the angel with an angel and an angel with the Messiah, this should be, one would think, interesting. Who are we looking at? Okay. Angel archetype, I mean Divine Feminine, signs are there. The signs. The signs are there. The signs are there. Pay attention to the synchronicities. Now, look, it's really easy to get lost in synchronicities, too, as we apply meaning. But if you're not sure what it means, my darlings, particularly Geminis, if you're the Gemini here in this angel archetype Divine Feminine, then you got to go, excuse me, can you clarify? I'm an air sign. I'm gonna think that 10 billion different ways before the day is over. So can you give me more clarity on that? It's okay. That's humility, even though humility is showing up more here in word in the terms of the Messiah. He's got here answered prayer, right? So somehow this is an answer to a prayer. So if the Messiah, whoever this Divine Masculine is engaging in some form of intention, work, prayer, meditation, some sort of spiritual process, practice, then let it be, help me serve this twin flame contract however I can with humility. And they're underlining the word humanity in there next to the word humility, to remember that what's going on, what's being healed here are the human traits, but it's the divine energy of love that heals it within the self. Remember, you can be in a relationship with somebody in a twin flame contract and be married and have kids and live a happy, healthy life if you get the nature of the contract, right? You are, in a way, free to love yourself and give yourself the love that no one else can, unless, of course, it gets so toxic and so abusive, right? Physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, spiritual abuse, any of that, done. Contract canceled. You're beating a dead horse otherwise. And I found that to be true. But just remember, we're so used to abuse being so overt that we might not catch it when it is covert or when it is neglect, which is sort of like abuse's quieter, more treacherous younger brother, right? Twin brother, I should say. Twin flame, right? So signs and answered prayer. Interesting. And I think because we're dealing with divine family archetypes with adventure here, there's only so much they're going to show me. Because it's mystical, right? You're dealing with divine energies here. Once the divine enters the situation, it's no longer just spiritual, it's mystical. People say, is there a difference? Yeah, there's a difference between spiritual energy and divine energy. There just is. We're dealing with divine family archetypes here, angels and messiahs. Not just your basic chakric day at the office, right? So we're going to go a little bit deeper here, but keep your eye on the signs and know if you're the divine masculine messiah here that your prayer has been answered, just may not look like the way you expect it to. But when is that ever not the case, right? Unless you pray for money and a $20 bill shows up on the street in front of you. I mean, it's happened. It happens, right? But what we're going to do to make this a little bit clearer is we're going to use the Daughters of the Moon for the Divine Feminine, and we're going to use the Mythic Tarot for the Divine Masculine to get you timelines, basic timelines, past, present, future, really, really simple, right? And that should help clarify, show you what's going on here for each of you individually. Cool. Nice deep breath. As we tune to the voice of the goddess, the goddesses, the Divine Feminine. Still point. My goddesses, please. 3 cards, past, present, future. Simple timeline. Please, for this Divine Feminine angel archetype in this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for January, I'm still in January to February 2020. Please, my goddesses. 3 cards, one for the past. Where has she been? Where has the divine feminine angel been in this twin flame contract? Where is she now in this twin flame contract? Where is she headed for in dealing this twin flame contract? While we're here, let's just do the same for the divine masculine. Breathe, please. Big breath. Still point. My gods, my God, oh my God, my gods, divine masculine, please. 3 cards in clarity for this divine masculine. It's 3 cards, simple timeline, past, present, future. Where has he been in this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract, January to February 2020? That's where he's been in the past. Please, where? It's like a hurricane in here. Where is he now in this twin flame contract? Where is he headed in this twin flame contract? Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, January, February 2020. Let's look. Divine feminine angel, where has she been? The Empress card, Mawu. So a place of fertility, a place of that Venus, Earth, Taurian love goddess supported, right? Wealthy, feminine, healthy, very much solid and stable, but definitely mother energy, literally giving birth to a child on the back of an elephant. So some dominant creative energy there. Again, does not have to be a female, right? It's just a feminine energy, but then more of that creativity. There are other words that are coming to me here. 1 second. Sorry about that. I had some feline shenanigans going on and I caught it right in time. Which gave me a minute to really tune into this divine feminine. You know, it's like I said, mother's work is never done. Not saying that this divine feminine angel archetype is a mother. Very well could be. Again, the collective. We're looking at hundreds of thousands of people here in this story. Just kind of feeling the theme here. But there is something here about that integration of love, that creativity of gestation, of carrying something that is loved, giving birth to it, and then watching it go off on its own. So the divine feminine is really represented by the divine feminine card, keeping in mind, and I agree with this, I learned this on YouTube, that the Empress is the culmination of all the queens of the court card. In this deck, it would be, I think, the mothers, right? The maiden, the mother, the crone. They do it differently. It's a feminine deck. The Emperor, the same with all the kings in the deck. So just something to think about moving forward here with this divine feminine. She's coming from a place of the divine feminine, of the Empress. Very earthy, very Taurus in that sense, because it's the Earth Mother, and particularly this deck, it's Mawu. You don't associate elephants necessarily with other elements than Earth. But also that maternal, that creative, that Venus impulse there, that fertility, that fecundity. Big word, right? Where is she now in this contract? Well, then we go right to the moon. We're dealing with a divine feminine energy here that might very well have mystical tendencies. Could be a mystic, even though the mystic card did not come up, but an angel, someone who's really here to serve, right? To helping others in need with no expectation of return. That particularly with the card of the moon there, it's like you've got the Earth Mother and the Moon Mother here. Yemaya, definitely an emotional card, but one of, well, it's water, obviously the moon, but we're talking here about guidance and the path being revealed. That the path is always, the intuitive path, intuition is always present in the present moment, but there are certain moments, like when you're standing at the water, on a full moon, on a clear night, and the path comes right to your feet, no matter where you stand. And I love that moment. I have stood at the ocean during full moons and just had that path of light come right to my feet, no matter wherever I was. That takes a tuning in. That takes a moment to breathe and check in on that. So where she is right now, come sit with Mama. Ugh, boys. This is the shenanigans I was trying to put to rest so we didn't have a kitty fight under my feet. But to keep that in mind, particularly with signs, right? It's like the signs, make sure that you're checking in with them intuitively, that they're kind of telling you you're on the path, you're on the right path, or you're deviating a little bit, but know by how it feels here, not just by what's going on here, because this can interpret forever and ever and ever and ever. Go deeper. What's it feel in your water, as it has been said? Where is she headed? All right, interesting. Chantico, a court card, a Leo card, a card of creativity and good fortune, 5th house, very much a fixed fire energy, which can be absolutely pleasurable, but also very creative. And we're not seeing necessarily anything overtly sexual, romantic going on here, but that Leo energy can be very, very playful, very warm, very romantic, right? That 5th house pleasure vibe, if you're getting me. Let's look at the Divine Masculine. I have a feeling that's going to make a little bit more sense even on her side. Where has he been? 6 of Swords, usually a card of therapy, right? Of meditative, contemplative, healing thought. Moving from choppy water to smooth sailing, right? How we manipulate the mind to move ourselves in the direction we want to go, either through inspiration, motivation, not quite the same thing as inspiration. Inspiration is carrot, motivation is stick. If you don't know the difference, you will. But this feels like that mental part. It's like, okay, has done the thinking, particularly as a Messiah archetype. If that light archetype is active here, serving humanity with humility, then there is that place of mental balance, of being able, perhaps by guiding so many from rougher waters to calmer waters, having that established within himself. And with that card of answered prayer, he's got the Moon card where he is right now. They both have the Moon card, 2 different decks. There is definitely some emotional stuff going on here, probably a very strong intuitive pull between the 2 of them, but maybe because there is a larger mission at hand that is part of an adventure. Oh my goodness gracious, that this could be turbulent, that this could be tricky, that this could be transformative for them. With the Moon card, then we're looking at a possibility here of emotions in play that might be, and I'll say it because it's true of the Moon card, in illusion, that people might not be seeing things so clearly and are being pulled in intuitive ways that might not be the healthiest for either one of them. What's going on here? 8 of Swords. There we go. So moving this Messiah archetype here, particularly if this is the Gemini, the 8 of Swords is definitely, for me, that card of being bound by a thought, being bound by a certain belief system, right? Usually it's blindfolded and bound, right? You think of the Rider-Waite Tarot. The 8 of Swords here, literally caught between between the Gorgons and Apollo, of really having no choice, no good option here. Feels like that's what's coming through here. Like both of the options are really harsh and unsatisfying. I'm just wondering if these 2 are involved in some kind of charity work, some sort of do-gooding in the world, and if this is romantic sexual, which we still have other cards to hit the table, these aren't necessarily showing it, but with that Leo card in the future, for her, I'm getting a little wisp of that sexual romantic thing going on here. Just be careful of the signs, my divine feminine angel, if you're the one watching this, to not interpret them too emotionally, but rather intuitively. In other words, what's feeling in the body? Does it feel positive, negative? Is it challenging your honor code in your solar plexus? That's where you know whether it's of the light or of the shadow that needs to be embraced and healed, but not necessarily acted on. Let's keep going with 2 more cards to hit the table. And let's see what they bring us. You know, that's why you might want to check your twin flame reads before and your ones after this one. Because this is, like I said, when you're dealing with 2 divine archetypes in relationship, the divine is at work. There's only so much they're going to show you. That's missed. Once the divine enters the equation, you're dealing with a lot of variables that you may never know what those are. Until you croak, maybe, right? Nice deep breath. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved for 1 card. From the Whispers of Love Oracle. Since this is such a divine twin flame contract, I ask the higher selves of all involved to please one card of clarification, a whisper of love oracle for this Gemini collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for February 2020, though timeless. Please, we've got this divine feminine angel and this divine masculine Messiah. They both got the moon card. It feels like there is something very, very different going on here with signs and answered prayer, that this is very guided, this is very graced. Please, one card in clarity. The mind is sort of reeling in 8 million directions, and I'm just trying to find that still point. Higher selves of all involved, please, a whisper of love for this twin flame contract. Here we go. I love you. Out of all that complexity, the simplest card in this oracle, I love you. These are very important words. Simplistic, simple need not imply easy. I love you. I love you. These are very important words. That's what it says. These are very important words. These are very important words. These are very important words. I love you. I just get a weird feeling about this, that these two people feel like they shouldn't be saying I love you to each other because of the circumstance. I just, there's so much confusion here, and it is mental confusion. That's the thing about reading collectives, particularly air signs. And of course, my Mercury Virgo stuff is going to tune to that a little bit more. But since it's twin flame contract, that I love you has to be directed towards the self first. Whatever emotions, I mean, come on, they both got the moon sign. Whatever it is, you have to talk to those emotions like they are children inside of you. Now, the divine feminine might have an easier time doing inner child work of that nature. To talk to the heart chakra as though it is a child, but I don't know, it's okay not to know, like it's a 4 or a 5-year-old. Don't bother with ecclesiastical language, Messiah angel archetype. Don't bother with chakras, speak to that child. Let that child have its feelings. You're going to cry, you're going to scream, you're going to quake with fear and all of that. But the response to whatever that child feels in the heart is, I love you, I'm here, I love you. Parent that child. Because therein it will clarify your answered prayer and the signs. One more card down. This is so heavy. But you know what? The twin flame readings are supposed to be heavy and complex. Different than the soulmates, man, in my opinion. Soulmates are satisfying and simple. Soothing, symbiotic. But we need our twin flames to teach us so that we can do the soulmate contracts well. Makes sense. Supply and demand. Nice deep breath as we get a healing mantra deck card. Matt KAHN. Healing mantra deck. The voices of the masters, that we're going to get one for you all so that we can really tune into what is the mantra, that whether you are the divine feminine angel archetype or the divine masculine Messiah archetype, that you can say this and help yourself heal and maybe contribute to the healing of the contract, because you are contributing to the healing of all of life. Really, that's the service that soulmate and twin flame do. Whatever is healed in the relationship individually or collectively is healed within the quantum field, the collective of all life. Nice deep breath. Still point. My masters, please, you who gave us the card of defensiveness, and let's not forget that's what I'm feeling. It's like they're defensive, like I'm not allowed to feel this, like it's work inappropriate or service inappropriate for these two to have this attraction here. If it is romantic, but it's emotional, again, if it's romantic or not, there's cards that could come right out and say it, and they're not. So we're just going to have to trust that if that's the situation that you're in, you can feel it. My masters, please, what is the healing mantra for this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for February 2020 or timeless, involving this divine feminine angel and this divine masculine Messiah archetype? Please, 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 what is the most helpful healing mantra for this twin flame contract? invoking self-realization. One side of the card is the name of the mantra, which is good, so I can look it up in the book, which I'm going to, and I'm going to read it for you, because as you can see, it's teeny tiny. The opposite side is the mantra itself. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Now, why I find that interesting is because we're talking about Geminis here and what I've been saying about the breath, right? Each breath confirms how awake I already am. That the mind can take you out of the present moment, right, into, oh no, what's going to happen in the future? Or, oh no, what have we done in the past? To be here in the now, to feel the feelings, to breathe through the feelings will show you how awake, meaning not caught into the mental masturbation, the stories, the psychology, the what ifs, the ego, the personality, the baggage, all of that. Each breath confirms how awake, how woke I already am. Boys, I'm right here. What are you going to do? They don't even have testosterone. I don't know what they're fighting over. Whatever. We're almost done. So let me read you what's written in the book. Then I will give you your overview, and then I will feed my kitties. What are we looking at? Invoking self-realization. Invoking self-realization. Nice deep breath as I read this, please. Invoking self-realization. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Self-realization is a spontaneous remembrance of your interconnection to all that is. Makes sense for an angel and a messiah. You are willing to embrace your individuality as a unique expression of source in physical form. By aligning with the breath, you see that while you appear to be a person, it is the universe that breathes everything into existence. So there's something here, interestingly enough, about connecting with the divine, with unity consciousness, with oneness, which is very much the angel divine family and very much the Messiah. It's like, don't forget who you are, angel and Messiah here, even though the magnetic pull of emotion might be a high tide. This is a turbulent twin flame contract, right? So the moon, and it might just be a perfect storm, so to speak, emotionally here, even though the Messiah has this skill, right, is used to the navigation from choppy to smooth waters, finds itself in a tidal situation, T-I-D-A-L. The last bit on here, this mantra is ideal for reducing stress, can't beat that, managing pain, and relaxing the nervous system. So I find that extremely practical for this, and also very fitting considering its air signs. Now, the mantra itself, again, is each breath confirms how awake I already am. And with, from the higher selves, I love you. I love you. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. I love you. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. You feeling me? Let's give you your overview. Magic clap. We start with the divine feminine angel archetype in the shadow attribute, acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, which makes sense with that defensive card. Sometimes we can act that way when we're feeling a little defensive. Falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance, which, you know, isn't great any day of the week. The light attribute she's shooting for, helping those in need with no expectation of return. And kind of with the signs there that if you're the divine feminine watching this, please do keep an eye on your shadow, but also that, you know, if you're really, really wanting to help others, follow the signs. You'll be shown that though you may not get anything in return from those beings, we are all given angelic help, messages, and signs when we need them. Maybe that's how you are getting quote unquote something in return, is by signs. Particularly coming from this place of stability. With that card of the Empress in the past in this contract, just like the Divine Masculine has that Six of Swords in his past in this contract, a sense of things being, in the Divine Feminine case, very fertile, stable, loving, creative, gestative, but also fecund, right? Like the ability to really create and give form to something of beauty, perhaps. Not saying definitely a mother here, but a mother vibe is always there in the Empress archetype, followed by Yemaya in the present moment with the moon, that might be feeling a little moody, a little confused, a little tempest-tossed by the lunar cycles going on here, but that to follow the intuition and to love what rises through the emotion, to clarify the intuition, leading to, I gotta say, a Leo card, one of creativity, again mirrored a bit in the card of the Empress here, but with the Mother of Flames, the Leo card, that fixed fire of the oven, of something being baked, something creative, something fulfilling, something of good fortune. Again, could be, yes, a Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, whoever, whatever, but really feeling that energy of creativity, that she's going to be okay. She just might need to focus more on her internal creativity in order to make her way through this. And then jumping over to the Messiah archetype, the Divine Masculine here, the shadow attribute, exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. That can be tricky to deal with on a daily. But the light attribute, serving humanity with humility, is what he is shooting for. And if he can remember that, then the answer to the prayer will certainly be one that benefits the well-being of all. If he can get back into that, well, how do I serve myself being part of humanity with humility? Humility knowing that I don't ultimately know through this, but I am willing to be shown, right? It's like the act is being done through me and perhaps for me, but for the well-being of all as well. Looking at the Six of Swords in his recent past here in this contract makes sense, just like the Divine Feminine. Like I said, that there is a stability here, but this is like a mental stability, a clarity, ability to counsel oneself or others from choppy waters into smooth. And I do feel that with the Angel and the Messiah, there's some sort of either charity work or philanthropic work, something, healing, helping, serving in some way. But he is in the same place she is in terms of the moon. Major Arcana card. Here we've got Hecate, the goddess of the crossroads. So there is a decision that needs to be made here, but one that needs to be made not so much with the head or the heart, but with the soul, the gut, right? Like what is really the intuitive pull here going on? But that leads him not into the Leo creative energy like the Divine Feminine Angel archetype, but into that Eight of Swords, a place of kind of being hamstrung by beliefs. So it's interesting to go from the 6 to the 8 in that progression, yet there is a moving forward. He will hit the 9 and the 10 eventually. But right now is more in a place of the navigation of the moon, yet to understand, if you are the Divine Masculine Messiah watching this video, that the prayer has already been answered. It just does not look the way that you expect it to look. Can you gain the momentum of the intuitive moon here, both for the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine, to navigate yourselves into a better quote unquote, or let's say a different outcome, because that's why you do past, present, future, to understand that the future card is most likely a quantum probability, not a certainty. And where does this bring us? Is the higher self saying, the message here, the whisper is, I love you. These are very important words, that you are both highly loved by the divine, because everybody is, every soul is. But when do we need to hear that? Usually when we are in a conflict, in a struggle, when we've been serving, when we've been doing our best as a messenger, right? Like an angel of light or a Messiah, someone who's trying to rescue, someone who's trying to help something succeed, that they are the deliverer, right? The redeemer here, the savior. And so to keep that sane, to keep that balance, to keep this contract until it is fulfilled, moving in a healthy direction, invoking self-realization, which does make sense with the twin flame. This is all about realizing, making your potential real to yourself, your own divinity, to make it real, realized within the self through the breath. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Whether you are the Divine Feminine Angel or the Divine Masculine Messiah, that is your way to heal yourselves individually in this twin flame contract. So there you have it, my Gemini collective, a turbulent reading for sure. A lot going on here, particularly with that card of the moon. And when you see defensiveness with emotion at the same time, you can't not feel that push and pull going on here in a twin flame contract. So remember, I love you, even if it's just to yourself. I love you. I love you. It's okay that we don't know. It's okay that we're feeling that the only reason the emotions are having is so that the emotions can be loved, but that doesn't mean that they're accurate, that they're based on anything other than what's going on around you if you're empathically, or if it's just time for these emotions to come up and be loved, but not necessarily acted upon. And therein lies the healing path of a twin flame. Yeah, you may be feeling all sorts of different things, but that doesn't mean you act on them. Love the emotions. I love you. Talk to them like they are the heart chakra, the inner child work, whatever modality, because it feels like you both, divine masculine and divine feminine, that's not unknown to you in some way, shape, or form, but that to give these emotions the love. In other words, these turbulent emotions need more love, not less, but that doesn't mean they get to run the show. Cool, cool. My Geminis, may the Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their twin flame contracts across the board, any day, any time, but particularly for January 2020 pertaining to this reading, that they may heal, that they may grow, that they may love what rises within themselves, become clearer, experience the answers to their prayer, follow the signs, and know that they are loved, that they can give that love to themselves, particularly the love that only they can give to themselves, be revealed to them for the well-being of all, that they can fulfill their roles in the divine plan for the well-being of all. May they be so blessed. And so they are, and so it is. Whew. Thank you so much, my Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. And I think that's my last reading for tonight. That's 3 in one day. I think that's pretty good, considering these are rather chunky readings. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed. And again, please do like and subscribe. Check out my videos in the description box below. Check out the Junk Tarot one. Check out the ones. Educate yourself about twin flames and soulmates and the differences. Really, it's just like signing a contract. Read the fine print, because there's a lot going on in this twin flame contract. And I really wish both of you, divine masculine and divine feminine, regardless, the very best and the very blessed in what feels like a very tricky, sticky, but ultimately divine setup here. Love you all so much, my Geminis. But for now, as ever, hail, farewell, and blessed be.